Hello and welcome to Mechwarrior Online. Today I'm doing a review of when to use ATMs and when to use LRMs. And for this purpose we're going to use my Hunchback 2CB, and I think this is a really good platform to give a good test of the two to see really what the real difference is and in terms of obviously a clan mech. And this mech is really nice because it gives a good offering of weapon placement as well as the ability to stay cool enough to do some serious damage. So as you can see, the cockpit is right in line with the missile platform, and then the energy weapons are just below it. This mech has a capability of AMS, 4 missile points, and 2 energy points with no weapons out on the arms. Just as you see it. So I've chosen for my personal builds to go with either LRMs with Artemis or ATMs, which essentially also have Artemis built in. So on this, I'm running 4 LRM 15s. I have a laser AMS on this build, and on the ATM build I won't have AMS because it's just a weight of tonnage. 2 ER medium lasers. I'm running a Clan 200 motor. Is that a 200 or a 290? 200. And I have 4 double heat sinks. Heat management is 1.22, which is not incredible, but I'm going to spend most of my time firing the missiles. And so by not firing these very often at all, my heat management is actually 1.45. So you can see that's a great distance right there, difference. So for as far as ammo goes, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tons of ammo. A little on the light side, but I think it works really well, and I've done this build many times in the battlefield. Let's take a look at the quirks. This is a clan mech, however, this is not an omnipod mech. So we have a heat management of 1.22, firepower 72, and a speed of 64.8. That's probably not going to change much as far as the speed goes. So if you run SRMs, you get some really good features out of this. You get range plus 10%, velocity plus 10%, and spread minus 7.5%. Center torso, you're going to get plus 10. Right torso and left torso plus 12. And center torso, a base structure, also plus 12. And that kind of works out. Not going to get much else here. Now let me show you the other build. So the firepower on this one is 72, and that's a solid 72. It's not like ATMs where there's 2 different numbers. And the range that I have skilled out on this goes all the way out to 1035 meters. So that works out really well. And then as far as the energy weapons go, these are for close quarters inside of that 180 meters. When I get down to, say, 400 meters, I typically fire these. And not much before, because it's really kind of pointless, and I don't want to waste heat when the LRMs can do the job. So let's look at the other build. So the other build is 4 ATM 9s, and it says it does 84 damage, but it's really quite a bit more than that. So each one of these is doing 22 damage at the 60 meters to 280 meters-ish range. 281 technically. And so that's 84 by itself, not including the 2 ER mediums, which are going to do 6 damage additionally. So we're at 84. That puts us at 96 damage if you did an alpha strike. But you don't really want to do an alpha strike, and I'll tell you why. Because this is a 1.19 heat management. You will go into overheat if you do an alpha strike with 4 ATM 9s and 2 AR medium lasers. What I typically do is I typically cycle these ones, unlike a lot of my other builds, because I simply just don't have enough heat sinks to go any other way. I didn't want to sacrifice ammo for it. I have full armor on the arms because I need these for shielding because I don't want to lose my primary weapons, which are the ATMs. I treat my ATMs like they're shotguns, kind of like a guided shotgun round. So that really makes the big difference there as far as what I use them for. The ER mediums, they're just there as gravy. In case somebody gets inside my 60-meter range, I want something that can give me a little bit of protection and help ward off smaller mechs and close quarters. Ultimately, the way I look at it on the Hunchback is if I'm having to use these for defense, I've really screwed up. So that's the way I see it. So, oh, by the way, the 125 that showed up is just because I switched from standard to Artemis. So if I go back and save this like that, shouldn't be any red flags. There we go. So heat management is 1.19, and we know that we're doing 96 damage on an alpha strike. That's what the firepower is usually showing. And once again, 64.8. Now, you can go with running SRM6s on this. The problem is you're going to go with SRM6s, you're probably going to go with jump jets, and you might go with a pair of ER large lasers here. And that's going to give you decent firepower, but it also opens up the arc that you're going to be in close quarters. And this is not a lot of armor for close quarters battle. If you're doing a lot of head-on heads with this, it's probably going to be messy. But we'll show you anyway. So we'll take these all out. And there, I have run this that way before with SRM6s. So we got 4 SRM6s with Artemis because it does make a difference. Yeah, continue anyway. I just bought a couple of mechs, so I'm poor. And we'll go with some ammo, and this is case protected, so we're not too worried about anything in that regard. You figure about a ton of ammo per SRM6 and you're usually pretty good. And we still have lots and lots of room here, so probably put on a advanced computer and add some jump jets. Would you like some prize for that? Yeah, why not? And your heat management right now is really good. And you know, you could add laser AMS as well. Why not? Add some double heat sinks. Maybe throw some of the ammo out on the arm so you can take advantage of another heat sink. So you start running out of room really quickly. So we have a heat management of 1.19. We're still running 2 ER medium lasers, and we have 4 SRM6s. You're going to do 60 damage at optimum with a alpha strike. You have to get in and tank with people because these things don't have a lot of range. These are maxed out at yeah, right around 310 or 330, I think it is. So you're not going to have a lot of range, but you're going to get some range and some velocity out of the deal, so it's not going to be a total loss. But if I had it to do my way, I wouldn't have those items on. I probably wouldn't have the laser AMS on board either. I may not even have the advanced sensor package, but I would definitely do another set of heatsink and switch out the secondary weapons, in my opinion, and go with ER large lasers. This gives you a little bit better firepower, a little bit better arc control. You're gonna have your heat's gonna change a little bit, but look at that, 1.35 on the heat management, which is very good. You're running 6 double heat sinks, and I have done this before, and I feel it's a mixed bag of nuts. You've got a firepower of 70 now. And you can do some really good damage with this, but you're going to spend a lot of your time tanking. And I don't feel like the Hunchback 2C, the clan version, that in this regard, has really a lot of really outboard damage you can do. So I reset this back from the 70 damage to this. I've got 72 damage. I can keep it ranged to do damage with my weapons. These are Artemis, so they're going to be a little bit better pinpoint. And I still got weapons and laser AMS, which I just consider as having extra armor. Anyway, so now on to the meat and potatoes. So now that we've talked about those items there, the benefit that you get from having LRMs is LRMs have a firing arc where they have a direct fire where they come out straight out like this, and then they have another arc where they go indirect up and over things. ATMs at best will go up a little bit in that regard, whereas LRMs will go up and down onto a target. If they're in cover and they're not all the way up against a wall or something, they will get hit by random shots of missiles. Obviously, if it was on a intersphere mech, intersphere mechs have a tendency for their missiles to go up like this and then come down at a really sharp angle, almost straight down. LRMs on a clan mech have a tendency to follow this arc here like this, whereas intersphere ones almost come straight down, just about straight down. I've had people that were right up against buildings on Grim Plexus, the ones that are up by Fox 7, and I've been able to hit them on a intersphere hunchback with 2 LRMs 15s with Artemis. And on the same kind of setup with this is 4 LRM 15s. I'm still not hitting them on a clan mech. So you really have to decide how you want to be. Now, ATMs, like I said, I treat them like shotguns because they're almost a direct fire weapon. They do have a little bit of a firing arc with a lock, but it's very small. And I spend a lot of my times shooting ATMs without a lock. I prefer locks, not to get confused, but I spend a lot of my time firing them without a lock. And so that's the real benefit I find with those, is they seem to be a little bit more accurate as far as the spread on ATMs, because I think it's probably because there's less missiles being fired for the amount of damage that they do, and that's really what it comes down to. Now, if you want to spend more of your time not tanking and doing direct line of sight firing, which is what you're going to be required to do on ATMs a lot of the times, you can do some significant amounts of damage using LRMs, whether it's intersphere and clan, because of the indirect fire. I've killed people in matches that I never actually even saw their mech. I just know what kind of mech they were driving and how much damage I was doing, and then I put them in a chalk outline, and never actually physically saw the mech. Somebody goes out, they throw some Wi-Fi on there, aka NARC. They pop up a UAV, and I get some good firing arc in there. I never even saw the mech. And yet I'm getting a KMDD for the most damage because they didn't spend a lot of their time going out into the open, and instead picked a place where it was easy for me to get a good firing arc on them and put them, in a chalk outline. Anyway, so yeah, those are the basic differences, and I've done some other tutorial videos about those differences, and you should check those out in the videos in the playlist of tutorials. Anyway, I hope you keep playing the game. We love the gameplay. For me, it's like therapy. It's free, and don't forget to get microphones. They're only like $10, $8 to $10 on Amazon, and being able to communicate in a match makes all the difference. It's the difference between having a match where you do 300 damage and a match where you do 1,300 damage. That's what it comes down to.